Hello, hello. How is everyone? So first off, introductions. My name is Sarah. I own Sarah Ann Creations on Etsy and here on YouTube. I'm also Sarah Ann Creations. I also have my name Sarah Ann Creations for my Spoonflower account, which is like a print-on-demand fabric company. So if you go onto Sarah Ann Creations on Spoonflower and you go through my designs that I have drawn up, you can have those designs printed on any kind of fabric that that you want, that they offer. So I'm Sarah Ann Creations there as well. I also have a really little shop on Etsy that's called Sarah Ann Designs. Or Sarah Ann Digitals, not Sarah Ann Designs, Sarah Ann Digitals. And that has a few embroidery designs on there. Other than that, there's not much else on that one. Hi, Robin. Ooh, you're at a retreat. Exciting. Are you having fun? I've never been to a retreat, so I don't know. I've never been to one. And I'm not a huge, so I sew, but I don't sew that well. That's why embroidery is for me, because I can sew. I'm not very good at it. And I don't think it looks very pretty. I'm always very nitpicky. I'm like, oh no, that line's not straight, and that's not this, and that's not that. So my perfectionism takes over. Hello, Denise. Quilting right now. Oh, nice. I've only made one quilt, and it was great for the first quilt, but I don't know if it's something that I'm passionate about. Have I thought about going on the cruise? Oh, are you talking to me or Robin? I'm not sure. Me, I could never afford it. Right now, we have a very, 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 very big expense coming up, and I've been really stressing over trying to find little itty bitty places where we can afford it. Our big expense, and I'm really stressed right now. So that would never be an option. I've been on one cruise before. It was a Disney cruise when I was 12, and I don't remember having the best, like, I don't really remember it that well. Isn't that sad? I do remember that I was like 2 months away from being 13, so I could be in the teen section. And since I was 2 months away, they wouldn't let me. So I stayed and hung out with my parents the whole time. So that was that was something. So today I thought about making, so this one was a mess up one. I made one for Carrie to take with her to her retreat, but it's not as far down on hers. I messed this one up by trying to box it too widely. So I made another one for her to take to her retreat in Ohio. So I thought about making another one today, but whatever you guys, if you want to watch me make one of those or make another kind of pouch or something. I just need to mark where the bottom of this is. that. Okay, so I have, because I do have that one loaded up into in there. So I have to trim up some fabric. Now the problem is let me go grab it. So I originally purchased this fabric. It's got like lines going up and down or side to side, whichever way you look at it. I originally purchased this fabric for that bag, and I can't find it at Joann's anymore. So I only have this much, which could probably make one more bag. And so I picked up a different one that's this fabric. It's kind of like a mottled, I don't know how to explain it, but I picked up this fabric to replace this fabric. So I may go ahead and just finish up with this one and use this up and then move on to this when I'm done with that one. And I had to get more purple fabric because I'm like out of that. So I need to go ahead and cut these and press them and get them ready to go into the hoop. So I'm trying to find all my stuff that I need so you guys can see what I'm doing. I don't have my headphones on, so if you can't hear me, let me know. Also, oh boy, phone ringing. 1 second, guys. They must have realized I was doing something and they were like, oh, I better not call them. Okay. What do I need to do? Need to cut this. Oh, I also did pick up a different fabric for that purple. If you remember. Oh boy. Oh no. I hope my kids didn't get into this stuff. I'll be so mad. So if you remember this fabric, that's really bright. This purpley fabric, I did get this to go with it. I thought that would be pretty as like a bag or a set. I thought that would look really pretty. So anyway, now to trimming this. So the sizes I need is 10 by 13. I might just open it up so I don't waste any unnecessarily. So how is everyone today? That's 10. Where's my cutter? Okay. Here, let's see if you can see this better. And Are you going on the cruise, Denise? Or thinking about it? I honestly think I'm just in the group to like live vicariously through everyone else. Like when somebody gets the thing, I'm like, ooh. I'm like, ooh, that's pretty. 13, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Yeah, I might just do it to 14. It's not going to save me any. And let's do 13 so that I know whether or not it's a good size for future bags. Make sure, one more time. 2, 4, 6, 13. Okay. A lot of people are going. Yeah, I had my annual on Monday. Yeah, Monday. I'm like, what day is it? I don't know. Doctor's appointments are not fun. I was anxious about that appointment too. Okay. So these two are done. Now I need to cut the purple. Luckily for this purple, it's the same. Like there's no directional print, so I don't really have to worry about it. So I could actually cut this at 13 and then cut them down to 10 each. Might trim off this icky edge. And I'm sure all true sewists watch what I do and they go, oh my gosh, she's not doing it properly. I don't do it properly. I'm sure I'm doing something wrong. Come on, cut. Okay, now I will do it at 13, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. I'll look at comments in a second once I get this all squared away. The problem is, since I'm using my laptop, I have it all. I have all the comments on the side, but I can't see them because it's down so far. So I'll get to them in 1 second. those two are done. Okay, now I'm going to cut my interfacing. Do that at 13 as well. I can do it a little bit smaller than 13 because you don't want to get the sticky on your heat press. Oh no, I trimmed a corner. Aw, man. I think it'll be fine though. I think I have enough. I just need to keep this out of the way of where I'm trimming. Put it over there. So smart. Okay. So this is 10 inches. Went a little far. And then I can. Okay. And I'm just going to double check this. Let me read these comments. Oh, so they're only doing 50 people. My mom has to get shots in her eyes. So, yeah. That's not. My grandmother had to get shots in her eyes too. So, I'm like, great. That's what I have to look forward to. I'm sure it'll happen to me too. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Sorry, I repeat myself a lot just to keep myself on track. And to make sure I'm cutting correctly, because I know I'll screw something up if I'm not focused on it. Hi, Tammy. You're okay. I don't have my headphones on today, so if you can't hear me, let me know. Or yell at me at any time. Okay. So, for this bag, this bag has a few less things that I have to cut out. So, I only have to have 4 pieces. So, you need the front piece, the back piece. These are the main pieces. They're like the design of the piece. Front and back, and then 2 inside pieces. So, the 2 inside pieces, the 2 front and back, and then I don't think, see, I accidentally trimmed off the corner. My bad. But I think it'll be fine. It was only a little bit. Or I can hope. That's what my mom says she had. Like where it's kind of droopy. And I was like, you had a what? You didn't tell me this. We live in the same town, and half the time I feel like I'm finding out everything after the fact. Okay, so I'm just going to plop you over here. Okay, So you can at least see what I'm doing. I try, and that was another thing I even talked to Tim about, like, what can I do in order to like have more cameras around my craft area. And he gave me a suggestion, but that's not going to be happening for a while. And so you can tell I'm kind of stressed with the big expenditure of a furnace and AC. And then the day before they're supposed to come in and put in the furnace and AC is going to be my daughter's birthday. So it's like, and I'm trying to tell her, I'm like, honey, it's not going to be like a big fancy thing, which we never do anything like super crazy outlandish anyway, but I try to make it as special for my kids as I can. And when we're a little strapped for cash, it's like, it's not going to be as great as last year. So that's kind of rough. Okay. And I keep telling my husband, I'm like, quick, what can we do to make some extra money? Quick, let's think of something. Help me brainstorm. Oh, Denise, I don't know. Did your package come yet? It's supposed to be coming soon. Today? Tomorrow? I can't remember. I checked on it. That didn't flatten all the way. I like it nice and flat. Hi, Tracy. Yeah, personally, I would probably put it off a little longer just because I'm like, we can make do with what we have. However, we had quotes before COVID happened. We got quotes on a new system, a furnace, an AC, all that jazz. It was like 7, 8, I think it was around 8,000. Then, at the time, we really, really, really couldn't afford it. But I wanted to like get my toes wet and kind of see where they were aiming for. Or at least I didn't think we could afford it. And now, during COVID, we had them come in, or had a company come in and give us a quote, and it went up to 17 grand. And I was like, what? I don't think so. And now it's not quite that expensive. However, prices are only going to go up, right? So I'm like, well, if we don't do it now, then we're going to be even more hosed later. So yeah, it's so much fun. I don't like being an adult. Sometimes. Pens. Hi, Tracy. How are you feeling? Why did that bend over? Oh my gosh. Are you kidding? Look, it like bent and then creased like severely. I don't want you bent. Now I gotta try and figure out how to get it to lay down while I press it again. Make sure nothing else is bending upwards. Oy, oy. Oh, good. I'm glad. Talked pens all morning. Like diamond painting pens? Sorry, this shakes a lot because this thing comes up with so much force. Whoa. Okay, that smoothed it out a bit. Ooh, diamond painting pens. Is there any other kind? Well, see, I personally would use a pen more. Just because I'm always writing something. I don't have as many diamond paintings as everyone else in the group. I can assure you that. I think I've done 5 in like 2 years. And some of those were like the itty bitty little ones. Okay, so I've got my pieces. Let me move you guys again. I know, nauseating, sorry. Okay, got this. Last time I moved my table over so you guys could see what was going on. Did you like being propped up on my table over here so you could see what's going on? One day I'll be professional like Tim and have all the setup. Just currently lowering my table height so that you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay. So, I've got my stabilizer. Oh my gosh. I got my stabilizer on here. I know. Everyone says don't compare. And then I even watched a friend of mine who used to do a lot of embroidery, but she actually changed over to an event business, but she still incorporates embroidery. And she was like, does anyone compare themselves to their competitors? And I'm like, I've been doing business for 3 years and I feel like I've gone nowhere. I feel like it's just like stagnant. I don't know. I think I've grown a little tiny bit, but when you're in the thick of it and you're just like, it's going nowhere. I think that's what's hard for me. I really want to see progress. And when I can't see progress, it's kind of like bumming. Like you're just like, oh, man. Okay. So first off, I need to do my placement stitch. Let me take you off the charger. And maybe you can look at me while we're moving so you don't get too sick. Okay. You can see my machine. Oh my, yuck. I need to clean this table off. Yuck. Okay. So I've already done my maintenance on her. I've cleaned her out with canned air. I clean her out with canned air. I just remove. So here's where the bobbin goes. If you can see this door. I take out my bobbin. Whoa. And I throw it across the room. You know. Take out the bobbin, throw it across the room, and then move on to the next step. Okay. I really like these bobbins. They're magnetic. If you can see here, I'll show you one from in here. So see on the back, it's got a magnet on it. So it snaps in there and it holds the tension better inside of your little bobbin case. This is the bobbin case. Okay, so I just open this up and I spray my canned air in there a few times, clean all the extra threads and stuff out. And then I usually spray under these tension discs. So I'll lift this up and spritz under them just to get any lint and yuck out of it. Okay. And I spray any lint or anything like that. And then I have to oil down in the bobbin area. The bobbin case area? I don't know what it's called. Okay. So now it's back in. I've already set up my design in here. So first, I take my hoop, and I always mark the side that I want facing out. So when I put it into the machine, I want it out to me, because if you can see, there's a tightener here and a tightener here. Oops, right there. So if I put it in this way, which is great, the arrow's facing me. But if I didn't have the arrow and I accidentally put it in this way, there's still a tightener. So it would look the same even if you mirrored it. So that's why I always put an arrow at the bottom, so I know which way it goes in every time, so I don't screw it up. Okay. So I put this in, and we have to do the placement stitches first. So let me just make sure it's not going to hit anything. That looks good. Why is my purple out? I'm going to have to put that back in. Okay, purple, what are you doing? Okay. That looks okay. That looks okay. Okay, I think it'll be okay. Let me rethread this. Oh, didn't do that yet. Hold on. Gotta rethread it. Put it down into the hole. Grab this, hook this, pull. Okay. Try and I don't even ask what you're making. I'm gonna be making a pouch kind of like this one. It's gonna hopefully look better than this one, but because this one I actually boxed too large, so I'm gonna make it smaller so it looks better. And it's gonna have the leopard leather works. So that one will be for sale. The one, not this one. This one I wouldn't sell to anyone. I will have one more. I will have this one for sale. Okay, so here now I can do my placement stitch. So it shows me everything that I need to be putting down. Hi, Lee. Okay. Okay, so you can't see it very well because I did it in white. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to see it. Trying to see if I can figure a way out, but it's pretty much just a rectangle, and then right, it's pretty much just a rectangle, and then there's a spot for me to put the zipper. So I'm gonna put the zipper on right here to the side of you guys. Trying to maneuver things. I have to get inventive. Okay, so I lay it slightly above this bottom line, which you can't see, but I'm gonna pretend like you can. So I'm gonna lay it slightly above. Yep, that'll be perfect. And I just tape it down with some tape. Slightly above. Don't mind my head if my head's in the way. Please pardon me. Okay. Then I will tape down the other side. Okay. So now I have my, and I might actually tape just like a little bit right here so it doesn't move. Okay. Then I take this and I put it back into my machine. Sorry, I'm gonna make you guys so sick. This makes me mad that I can't get it to work properly. I'm like, there's gonna be some people thrown up on the other side of this thing. Okay, make sure my arrow is facing me so I don't screw it up. Okay. And then it's gonna tack down this zipper. I did put my tablet down so that maybe I can read your guys' stuff. So no, it won't let me. Let me see if I can do it on here. All right, so now maybe I can read what you guys are saying. This one, I don't need the liner yet. Thank you, though, Lee. I appreciate it. This is just for the zipper so far. That's all I need right now. You're going to be on top of it. I've got my helpers in the wings. You guys are gonna be all on top of it. You'll be like, no, stop, wait, which will be very helpful. Okay, so first, so now that I have that, this is when I need it there, Lee. So thanks for the reminder. Okay, so I need to remove this piece of tape so it's not in the way. And I'm going to trim out my zipper section so that when I go to actually add my fabric, my zipper section will be out. Okay, so here. Trim it out. Sorry, there's a lot of shadow because I have a light right above my head. Come on. And I just run my scissor right along that. And I'm going to trim up this. Oops. Okay, that's trimmed out of there. So now my zipper is like free. There's nothing blocking it. Okay, now since we're on the back, I will put the backing on first so I don't forget it. Okay, so it will flip up this way, and I usually bring it down here. Okay, so it's going to stitch right along that line. So I bring this down to that line. And I tape it. I can put a little piece here too. Okay, and then I'll just lay this over once I transfer it. Now I can take my front. So my front right here, my screen went away. So I'll take my front and I will place it down like this. Just right here. And then I will tape that down as well. I have some tape over here that I want to use. Okay, and I can do a little tape there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold both of these and lay them over so I can transfer it back onto my machine easier. Please don't get sick. Sorry, guys. Okay, so we put this back on. Make sure the arrow is facing out because I will mess that up. And I'm going to take these pieces and pull them out from under my needles. If I can get it to follow. There's one. And I will double check to make sure it's still attached underneath, because sometimes it won't. Okay. So that's right. That's still attached. We're good. Okay. Now I'm going to stitch this. And start. Okay. Now, I want this to be trimmed down just a smidge because it is pretty long. The fabric's down pretty far. So I'm going to, I can leave, no, I can remove that. And remove this one. Okay. And when I start stitching when I do the Leopard Leatherworks design on the bag, do you guys want me to like put it here and like mute it so you can like watch it stitch so you don't have to hear the like noise of the machine? Because I know the noise of the machine can be a little annoying. I'm just going to trim this down. You can take this off and do this, but it'll just be quicker for me to start stitching the next part by not removing it. Okay, like that. Whoops. Supposed to put that in trash. Oh, yeah. That's great. Be careful, Denise. Okay. So then I pull this front piece down because it's going to be tacked down first. And I'm going to, I'm kind of finger pressing it just to try and get a good. Okay, then I'm going to just personally just going to hold it while it does the stitch. Okay, now that it's stitched down to my stabilizer, I can go ahead and run the Leopard Leatherwork design on it. So I can actually make it so it does it right now, but I separate them so I can adjust it a little. So I'm going to go down to the design. And I hope you guys can see this. Okay, is that good enough? Now I'm at the leopard leatherwork design, and I'm just gonna let it stitch its design. So I'm gonna go lock, and here we go. And that might take a little while. So right now it's just working on the leopard design. So this specific file, so it's obviously Tim and Carrie's design, but I digitized this, so I went on to a free software actually, because the paid for softwares are like in the thousands. So I have learned a little bit of a free software, and I was able to digitize this on my own. I do make Timism shirts. So where I purchased the shirts, I don't know, can you guys hear me over my machine? I make Timism shirts, but I haven't had an order for a while. So the company that I purchased the shirts from, I usually try and do them in like a pre-order fashion where we get a whole chunk of people who want them. And then because shipping with shirts can add up really fast. So what I was doing is I would like do them in chunks. So I'd have an order with like 5 or 6 different people, and I would send out the order for that and get them in. And I also have to do that with the DTFs too. Oh, is that for the cruise? Well, I wonder if Tim and Carrie will give like preference to their group first. I don't know. I mean, I would think that they would do that because, I mean, they originally came up with the idea. I would think they would, but I don't know. I think she's talking about the cruise. But I didn't know that many people were that interested. So, and I didn't know you had to like get in your information like right away. Okay, so this is going to take a little while. It'll probably take another, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. If you guys have any questions, let me know, because I'm more than happy to answer questions. Also with the Timism shirts, currently I do have one large shirt that So I replaced it. I had to order a new one because I had a mispress on it. So I do have one large that I can make a Timism shirt, but today, Sarah, what does that mean? Like, no, that's okay. I don't really know much about it. I've watched like the videos on like the cruise ships and stuff, but trying to think what I could share with you guys while we wait for this to embroider, or if you just want to sit and watch it embroider and all. So with this particular bag, I'm going to actually have to do some sewing. I don't like sewing. I'm not very good at it, but I need to get my sewing machine. Should I show you guys all the diamond paintings I've done? I still have all of them. Do you want to see them? They're all down here. It'll be like a diamond painting show and tell. It'll be very short. It's a very short one. It's not long. No, this isn't for anyone, Timothy. Or Tammy. I don't like calling you Timothy. I like to call you Tammy. This isn't for anyone. I'm just making it. It's available if anyone wants it. But, no, I'm just making them. Okay. So we'll let that keep stitching unless you want to watch it keep stitching. If you want to keep watching it stitching, we can wait until it's done, or I can just show you right now. Tammy, I'm not going to call you anything. I don't want to. I like to call people by their name. I don't know if it was a Tam is great too. I don't know. I always want to call people by the name that they'd like to be called by. Oh my gosh, guys. Do you see down at the very bottom on YouTube how it has my old logo? That was like my old logo from like, I don't even remember. It was really long time ago. That was when I only did cards. I think for these particular bags, I was going to do like 35. Just because they take a lot more thread and things like that. But, yeah. And since they're personalized, they have like a personalized image on them. Okay. So right now, if you can't see it, it's currently working on leopard works. Let's see if I can get you a closer image. Yes, it is cotton. right now it's working on Leatherworks. Oh, and then cap. I'll show you the other bag. So I also do these kinds of bags. So see-through bags. Denise actually picked one of these up, but in my larger size. And so it's see-through, so you can put your stuff and you know what's in there and what's not. So here's the larger size. Like a see-through. I also have this one. Where it opens here, and then there's the inside of that bag. So these are just different bags, and the reason why I do them on the embroidery machine is just because I don't really like the look of how I sew. I'm a little too perfectionist. Oh, and I also have these. I also have like these little money ones, like coin purses, little coins, and then you can, or gift cards or whatever, and you can hook it on something. So I also have those too. We can definitely do that, Tracy. You just have to let me know. I can show you some fabrics that I have. In fact, I just I have this purple flower one. I have this purple flower one, and I just purchased this polka dot to go with it, and I thought that was really pretty. I do have an Etsy shop. The only problem, so none of these things are on my Etsy shop. The only problem with, I've been dying to get my own shop going because Etsy takes like 15% of everything you sell. Like they take a lot. And so by the time, and then on top of that, there's like listing fees and all that stuff. So Etsy's kind of, and they're getting more particular. Yeah, I would love to have my own website, but that's expensive too. So yeah, 15% really stinks. And then at one point I didn't have so I had like external ads on, and external ads is like Etsy will mention you have something, and if somebody clicks on it and purchases that item, they take an extra 15% of that item. So you're losing like 30%. Well, websites, you have to, yeah, I originally thought that too, Tammy. So websites, you have to purchase your domain. So you have to have a domain name. So you have to pay for that a year. And then you also have to, you do have to pay fees for them to like process orders and things like that. So it's a lot more than I expected it to be. I'm going to move us so you can actually see what I'm doing better. So you can see my diamond paintings. Oh no, I don't know where to put you. I have my sewing machine in the way. Okay, so before I get to this, I'll show you my diamond paintings. These were my first ones. These ones my husband got for me. Oh no! Got for me 2 years ago. And they were just the run-of-the-mill Amazon ones. So here was one. That one. And it came in like a 2-pack. It's actually really pretty. And then here's the second one. I keep looking over to see if you guys can see it. I'm like, I don't know if they can see it. That. So those two. And then I also have a few more. This was my first Diamond Art Club. Which they don't actually have this one anymore. They, I think they like redesigned it or something. And they don't have it in square anymore. But this one was like my favorite. Whoops. This one was from Amazon too. Love this one. This one's so pretty. Thank you, Tammy. I really like that one. They've redone it. Because one day I tried to share it with someone. I was like, oh yeah, you should try this one. Because they had never done a large, they've only done like the cheaper ones. And I was like, this is a great one. And it's square. And it wasn't square anymore. And I was like, oh, never mind. It's round. That's why I got this one, was because I wanted to try a square one without having to get a really large one. Okay. Now here's another Amazon one that I got. I think this one's my biggest one. No, I'm not sure if this is the biggest one. I think they're a little different. So this is my biggest one. I wasn't a huge fan. It's a cheap one off of Amazon, but it's big. So I did this one. I think I did this at the beginning of the year. In January, I finished it up. January, February, something like that. It's really pretty. So I like that one. It's just, it's kind of like pixelaty, if that makes sense. Thank you. And it's got a lot of confetti in it. Like just randomly, you're like, why do we need that blue right there? So that, I'm just clipping it shut so it doesn't unwind. Okay. And my last one, because I don't have very many. The last one I did this year, and I've posted pictures on this one. This one's my biggest one. I was going to say the other one was my biggest one, but. And this is my last one. Can you see it? You can see it. Yep. That's my last one that I finished up this year. Yeah, I like it because it's bright, colorful. I don't normally go for bright and colorful. My husband picked this out and he got it for me for Christmas. So he's the one that got me this one. He was like, yeah, I got you one. And I was like, which one? And he's like, you're going to have to wait. So I got that one for Christmas. Oh, I can put it back in the box. I was like, oh no, where do I put it? Okay. Thank you. Oh, no, I didn't know that. Guys, like I said, I'm not a professional diamond painter. And people keep going, "Oh, are you going to frame it?" And I'm like, framing is expensive. But yeah, those are my diamond paintings. And I've got 2 little kids, so I don't get around to it very often. Okay, let me rubber band. I'm like, where did I put my rubber band? My last rubber band snapped on me, so and then this is where I keep most of my. So I did purchase this when I got the big one. I purchased this. One thing I do not like about it is it gets snagged on the inside. So I would rather have had the zipper higher up than for it to get snagged on this fabric on the inside. But yeah, this is a 120 count. I don't know. It's got this row and then it's got a bottom row. And I don't have anything fancy. I use the kits and the trays that come with it. I do have a leopard leatherworks pen that I won on my birthday, which was fun. So this is the leopard leatherworks pen I have that I won. And it works good. It's a little long for me though. It's a little bit too long. I think this is like a 6-inch pen. For me, I do like to flip. So having to get to the other end is a pain in the butt. And then I do like this one. This one's just a Diamond Art Club. Diamond Art Club. I got this from Hobby Lobby. So I like this one too. I like both of them. Yeah, well, it's hard for me it feels like it takes me forever to get to the other end. It's like, okay, I'm there. So that also, I know a lot of people love the micro glue dots, and I didn't want to spend more money. So I actually have these old ones. These I got from, if you guys are familiar with Tuesday Morning, they used to have stores, but they went bankrupt or out of business or something like that. I had purchased these for crafting, and they're actually individual. They're like individually done ones. So it's like that. Oh, the black in the background really helps. Okay. So it's just like that. And what I do is I just cut them down. Yeah, I don't have it anymore, but I purchased these like years ago. I think I purchased them for a baby album that I never made. But all you have to do is like trim it down. So like if you don't have like the exact one that you want, you can trim the bigger ones down. So that's what I use these for the most part. So I use those. I've never tried putty. I've never done any of that stuff. Like I said, I usually just use what comes in the kit. I've been using the same kit since I got my first Diamond Art Club. I even use the same wax. And then I would like to try a different tray. I've looked at the Firefly trays, but I'm like, until I get another diamond art, or not diamond art, but a diamond painting, I don't see the need to do that. I've seen the Firefly ones, which look really cool. Those ones look really cool. Okay. But that's my show and tell. It's very short. There's not a whole lot to it. And then I can put these away. And all my diamond paintings live in the basement. And I still have all of them from my, from this one. I think I threw away the ickier ones, the Amazon ones. Okay, it's all just stored down here. Okay, now, no, I don't have any to work on. No. Okay, now I have to trim. Now down here, there's a bunch of, you may not be able to see it. There's a bunch of like little, what we call jump stitches. So it means that instead of having to stop and cut and make a knot for each thing or each thread and then jump to the next one, it just jumps to the next letter and starts the next letter. So I have to be very careful and come in here and trim those out, just so that, I mean, some people leave these, but like some of these are very obvious. And I don't want people to be like, ew, what is that? Why is it there? I tend to trim one side and then I come back and trim the other side. I tried to put a command on these where it would trim it, but it hasn't done that yet. And then I also have something called, because I'm sure you guys want to know about it. I have this thing called a snag nabbit. It's funny. So it's got like this rough kind of spirally stuff to it. And what you do is you go over the thread that's there and you're going to push through and pull it, and it pulls the thread through with it. Sorry, got to get my head in the way so I know where I'm poking. See, and then it pulls that thread through so that you don't have to like necessarily trim it. Sorry, my head's going to be in the way again. And sometimes I have to use my pliers to grab it from the other side. There we go. There we go. Grab my pliers. Okay. And sometimes I use it just to clean things up so it doesn't look. Oh, they are knotted. They're knotted inside of it. So it like knots it and then it jumps to the next one and starts it again. So it's knotted on one side. So you're just trimming away that excess that they just wanted to skip over. So it's not like it didn't attach itself. Oh, that's okay, Timothy or Tammy. Blah. I like read your name and then I say it. That's okay. Okay, and then this. It's more of like just a quicker way of doing it because if it took the time to stop for each and every letter, it would take a little more time. See, and so now it's all cleaned up. No, the stitching won't unravel. So it's all cleaned up. And now we're going to put it back into the machine and attach the back. So let's grab you. You could never do what, Tammy? So I'm going to take this. And something fell. Okay. Now I'm going to take this and tuck it in. What is going on? What are you doing? Machine? Uh-oh. What happened to my machine? Oh, it went out. I don't know why it went. Oh, because it thought I was done. Never mind. I was like, why is this going out? Let me double check. So we're on the first one. So we're on first, second, third, fourth, fifth. The third from the bottom. Plus, doing it this way, so if you see, right? So we did our stitching on the front of the back, right? And now we're going to lay this down over the inside, and you're not going to see any of the threads. It's going to be completely inside of the bag. You will never see those threads. So I'm going to be extra cautious. I may actually pin it down at the bottom. So I'm just over to the side. Right now I'm just pinning it, actually. You can't see what I'm doing. Sorry, just trying to get this thing to pin. Okay, so now that it's nice and flat, I'm afraid the pins are going to get hit by my needle, so you don't want to hit pins with a needle. So I'm just going to hold this sucker. We'll see how it goes. I'll just get myself, nope, needs to go back over. Okay. Now I'm just going to grab this and hold it like so. Okay. Now it's sealed. Like that. Now the back is all done. Then what you have to do is now we're going to be putting on the front. We're going to be putting on the front of it. There we go. Okay, so since we're putting this on, we're going to have to open the zipper. Gotta open the zipper so that it can pass through when you go to turn it. Like that. So then you take this the way you want it and you flip it. And then I will lay it on top just like that. And you can tape it or whatever. So I'll just tape it to the sides. And we're only putting on the front this time, right now. Oh, I wouldn't. I'm not going to add to Tim's load. Like, I can use that pen perfectly fine. I want it, and it is what it is. No, so the liner will go on next. Right now, we're just sewing this down. So, but thank you for the reminder. But right now, we're just sewing this down. Okay. Now, what I do want... No, I'm not putting any... I'm seeing if I needed to do anything extra. Nope, I think we're good. I'm trying to think if I should put my label on it. Should I put a label on it? Trying to think where I would put the label. So here's like my little labels. This is my little labels. So I'm trying to think where I should put it. Because I'm going to sew. I'm going to sew this Well, the problem is trying to figure out where it's gonna lay. And so half the time I'm like, I'm not even gonna bother. I gotta look at my design real fast. Half the time. Yeah, it does go in the side seam, but what I'm gonna be doing, Kat, is I'm actually gonna be boxing this bag. So this bag will originally be flat, right? It'll be thin and flat. But I'm gonna box it after it's all done by trimming out the corners and then sewing them so that it gives it kind of a flat bottom to sit. So I'm trying to think where to put it. Because if I'm gonna box it there, I don't want it. I don't know if people want it like in their face, like right next to the zipper. Should I put it next to the zipper? Yeah, I know you guys can't respond, but I'm like, where should I put it? Yeah, maybe I'll put it near the zipper. So we'll just go like this. And then I will tape it with another piece of tape. See, but the bottom seam is going to be boxed. So this is where, so for example, so this was one of my mess ups, right? Yes, I boxed it too far, like I made it too wide, but I had put it right near the bottom, see? So it doesn't poke out right. So it looks weird. So I might put it up near the top. About an inch. Well, if I'm going to take out an inch, now you guys are making me do actual math. Let me see. I had a smaller ruler. Not the one I'm looking for, but here's my inch. Here's my inch. Here's my inch. You know what? I feel like I'll put it up near the top so it doesn't get all weird. We'll put it up near the top. It's okay. If somebody doesn't like it, they don't have to buy the bag. I'll be like, sorry. Didn't I have a piece of tape here for me? I don't know where it went. Sorry if you can see the top of my head. Okay. Now I can close the top. Like that. Tape it. Tape it. Now it's time to just do this part. So take it back to the machine so you guys can see. And now this is going to go around a bunch of times. So 4 times to stitch it down all the way. One more time. Okay, so the front is now done. Now I just need to attach the back. So I will do the same thing to the back. But the back does do a little bit different. So okay, I just need to line it up where I want it. And then add tape. Okay, Tammy, thank you for joining. Feel better, get rest. And all I have to do is tape down these edges. And then I can put it into no, I actually just got into embroidery 3 years ago during the pandemic. I actually watched a lot of people like Angela Jasmina, and my friend Amber Bingham. She does baby clothing and things like that. I watched a lot of, it was mostly Angela Jasmina. And in 2021, I think it was either 2020 or 2021, I actually got like a flatbed regular embroidery machine. And then I upgraded to the one that I currently have, which is a 6-needle embroidery machine. Okay. And I actually got this used. I saw you, Tammy. Don't worry. You're all good. I actually got this machine used from a local shop. And I got this used from a local shop, and the shop's no longer in business, unfortunately. So it's kind of sad. I would love to have like more needles and the whole shebang, but that's just too much of an investment. I don't go into debt, or I try never to go into debt. So Now we're putting on the back. I know. And I very much appreciate it, but I want her to get rest. I mean, I'm not a very good... I don't follow my own advice, so I don't see anyone following mine. I'm not good at following my own advice. Like, you need to rest, and you can't pour from an empty cup. Well, I don't listen to any of that. Okay, it's done, guys. Now we can move it over here, and we can go over what I do. Okay. Now we can come and sit down. Phew. Okay. I don't know why. Was it too loud? I'm just going off of my computer. I don't have any headphones in or anything. Okay. So here is the finished bag. Well, not the finished bag. Oh, well, maybe it has some function that I don't know about. Here we go. And here's my special little screwdriver. It's got like little ends on it, so I can unscrew this. Okay, pop that off, grab this. Okay. All right. Now I'm just pulling all my tape off. And this is cutaway stabilizer, so I'm just going to cut this off. Okay. So my scissors. And so this is the bottom of the bag because it's open. So this is like a slot right down here. So what I actually do is I have to look back and forth to see where I'm cutting up to. So I cut at an angle. Just to see where, so I don't trim into my threads. I just go back and forth, make sure I'm trimming this so I don't cut into anything. Okay, then I go off of this side and I will watch where I'm cutting. About 1/8 of an inch away from the outer edge. sometimes it doesn't get all the layers. So I'm going to come back and trim all that. Okay. Go around the edge. Sorry, it's kind of floppy, so it's hard to keep it in frame. Just trim around the outer edge. Okay, all this is trash. And then I don't need to keep this front part. I need to keep these inner parts. So I take this, fold it, and then I remove the parts that I don't actually need, like that. So, and I can actually trim this up. It doesn't need to be this long. Okay, good. So here's the bag, and it's still inside out. So you're going to grab through this hole, and I push down this corner, and I bring this other corner through. Then I go and get the other corner, trying not to spread open the bottom part, because you don't want it to rip. Okay. Now I have this bone folder, and I'll just stick this in here and round out my corners, make sure they're nice and pressed out. And we're going to press this one out too. This is where the zipper is. Like that. And then this other side, where the other zipper is, or the other end of the zipper. Come on. Doesn't want to work. There we go. Well, that was a little rough. Okay. And then this end, or this corner. Okay. So there is the bag, all done like this. Going to, and I usually take my mini iron that I have right over here by me, and I turn that on and I press it. Now I could technically take my sewing machine and sew a little line down this bag, but I'm not a huge fan of seeing the line. So I usually just use a fabric glue. Let me press this once it's all heated up. I usually use a fabric glue, and this is Fabri-Tac, to seal the hole. Now I could, like I said, I could sew it. I don't know. I've never sewn one of these bags shut before. There's a lot of layers there, though. There's like 4, 5, 6. There's like 2, 4, 6, 8. Probably about 8 layers to go through. So I think I'm just going to stick with the fabric glue just to make sure that it stays shut and I don't ruin a needle. Now, it would be faster to sew it. I don't know what to do. Because once I glue it, I need to let it sit for like 5 minutes. Okay, I'm just going to press it over here. I'm just pressing some of my other edges too so that it's a little flatter. Okay. So I've pressed it. Well, I don't think sewing it would be too bad, but I don't know. I don't want to mess something up and have to rip it back out. So what I usually do is I take this and I hold it shut with a clip. If you can see, I hold it shut with a clip, and then I take this glue. This is like heavy duty glue, and I just sandwich it between, and then I run a bit along it. And it smells just like acetone. I don't know why. But it does. So then I just do this, and then I take more clips, and I just pinch it shut so that it's held firmly. Like that. There we go. There's one half. And then the other half. Then I glue that shut. I try to make it so it doesn't pop out. Sometimes a little bit squirts out, but for the most part, it's good. And I just clip the rest of the way across. There we go. So then it's all clipped across the top, and that'll hold it until it dries completely. So And the inside looks good. And then what we're going to end up doing is we're actually going to do the corners on this. Let me clean off my glue bottle. So I take baby wipe. Just clean this off so it's not all gunky. Okay. That on. Now I can prep this while I'm sitting here. Because what we're going to do is we're going to cut out 1 inch from each corner. So, yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking. So I actually have this like invisible pen. Well, it's not invisible, but it'll disappear on its own. So I usually go about 1 inch. Pretend that it's actually like a sharp corner. I pretend it's actually a sharp corner. Or maybe if I go this way. And I do 1 inch, 1 inch. So I go in 1 and down 1. So that's 1 inch. So it'll make the bottom of this bag roughly 2 inches. So that's the corner I'm going to cut out. So I'll do the same on this side. Go 1 inch, 1 inch. Just make sure you're making it about the same as you did on the other side. So right there and right there. So then I will take my scissors and I will just make sure everything's good and flat. And I will trim here. There's a lot of layers right there, so. Okay. And trim here. Try to do it as neatly as I can. Because I don't want to screw it up now. Okay. So there's one corner out. Then I'll go to the other corner. Make sure it's nice and flat. And trim this out. Trim this out. Okay. So there's the two corners that are now trimmed out. And I'm still going to let this sit and dry for a second. Because I don't want to move it too fast. I'm just going to press this out a little. And while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'll grab my sewing machine. Hopefully everything will fit up here. Put that away. Here's my very heavy sewing machine. Okay. And this is a really big foot pedal, which is nice. Oh no. Okay. Pull it out. Hook it up to here. Which way? There we go. I don't have enough room to keep all of my stuff out. I wish I did. Then I could keep my sewing machine out, and I could keep all kinds of different stuff out. Okay. So here, this kind of unwound some. Okay. I'm going to turn it on. I got to rethread it. It's not threaded. Trim it. Okay. Now I have it threaded. Should have set a timer. Let's see. We'll give it a couple more minutes. Give it 3 more minutes just to be safe. So what are all of you up to today? What besides watching me? Do we have lurkers in here? I feel like we have to have some lurkers. Does anyone have any questions for me? I always ask if you have questions and no one ever asks questions. So I'm like, okay. How many are you working on? When people are like, I have 5 of them going, I'm like, I've done 5 total. I'm like, I don't even know what that would be like. I feel like for me, I need to see something get finished to feel like I've accomplished something. Oh, yeah. You have 5. See, I just said that. People say, oh yeah, I have 5 going. And I'm like, what is that like? See, I'm one of those people that are like, I have to get this done. I have to get this done. And like, I like work and work and work on it. That's the same thing with me in crochet. Like if I'm working on something, I want to get it to completion. Like I don't want it unfinished and have it just sitting around. Like I need it finished. I remember the 15-month-old stage a little bit. It's been a while. I think the not having things finished like just makes my anxiety worse. I'm like, I have another thing on my list that I don't have done. Nice. 1 down. There's 3 minutes. I've never been in an event. One day I'll do an event, maybe. Probably not. But it would be fun. It sounds like it's fun. And then being able to win prizes and be part of something. I used to be more in like crafting groups that were embroidery and clothes making and that kind of stuff. And I no longer am part of those groups or that group because there was a little issue in the group and they kind of ganged up on me a little for me making something that somebody else makes too, which all of us made things that other people made. So I was just like, oh, forget it. There's no point. Okay, so with this bag, now that we have the corners cut out of them, you're going to put your finger in there and separate it. You want to make sure you have all the layers to the very front. And usually you would, if you were sewing this, normally you would separate the seams so that they nested next to each other. But you can't do that with this because it was made on the embroidery machine. So I take this and you can use a pin, or not a pin. This is not pin. This is a clip. So you can clip it together. And I do about 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. So I'm just going to come down here. You're not going to be able to see it. But I have it separated. And I'm going to do it over to about 1/4 of an inch. Set up my machine so it doesn't do something funky. Okay. 1/4 of an inch. And I have a walking foot on my machine. This is my walking foot down here. And I'm going to clip it down. And I'm going to just sew a regular seam. And I'm going to back stitch at the beginning so that it makes it a little more solid. And I just keep. Now when I get to this really thick patch, I'm going to have to push my bag through because sometimes the walking foot gets high centered and it can't go anywhere. So I gotta kind of wiggle it through. Okay, so now I have that sewn. Okay, so I have that one side done. Okay, so there's the sewn edge right there. Then I'm going to flip it around and do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to tuck my fingers in and I'm going to flatten it out and lay it out completely flat as I can. And I could do this on a serger. I could do this on my serger because I do have a serger, but I don't want to lug that out. I think I put it back away in its box. So I'm just doing it on here. The serger would finish the edge for me, but I'm going to do something special for the edge. Okay. Now I'm going to do the other corner, which I have prepped and ready. Denise, you're funny. I would have had more. Would have had all those stitches in my finger. Oh, believe me, there were some people that were in my group who had actually embroidered through their finger on their machines. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't want that to happen. Okay, now I'm gonna do the other side. Start sewing. See, and then it gets stuck because it's like, hey, my foot can't touch the bottom. Oh, it jumped a lot. Hold on. I might need to stitch that a little bit more. But that's okay. I'll just go from the other side. You'd be in the one where they've stitched their fingers. Yeah. It does make me jump a lot, that's for sure. Like, if I get really close to one, I'm like, ah! I just wanted to stitch from the other side because it was getting stuck. So, just extra stitching, that's all. Okay. Now the extra that I'm going to do for this, I'll be right there. Need to press this. Oh, I can iron it. Never mind. I don't need to press it. Oh no. Here it is. Okay. So now I am taking well, actually this is really, really old. I was actually gifted this by a lady who had upgraded to really fancy ones. And she was like, I just don't need this one anymore. I used to have like a manual one that I had to do everything by hand. And I never took care of that. I had it since middle school, never cleaned it, never did any. I mean, I haven't done much with this one either. But she was so kind and she gave me this machine because it has embroidery capabilities. The only thing is you have to, it's like old school embroidery where you have to use certain cards and certain panels and things like that. It's certainly an upgrade from the one I did have. Let's see if you can see what this one looks like. So this is my machine. It's an upgrade, but like here, you could change out the panels. Like you unattach it and you put in a different panel, and that's how it would read it. And it had like a little embroidery arm that you attach to it. But soon after I got this, I was like, man, I really wish I could make like files that I could find online and then put it into my machine, which this didn't have that capability. So quickly after getting this machine, I got a flatbed machine, which also had the capabilities to be a sewing machine. And when I upgraded to that used 6 needle, I sent that one back. Like I traded it in on the bigger one. Okay. So now what I'm doing is I am actually ironing a piece. So what I want to do is I want to cover up these raw edges on the inside of the bag. So I'm going to trim this piece. This thing is being a turd. Hold on. I want to spritz this down and get it to iron flat because there's a crease in it. Okay, so this is good. I will put a crease in it, even though I just got the creases out. I need a different crease. So I'm going to fold it in half. I'm making like a kind of a binding for it. Okay, so that's folded in half. Now one of the edges I need to fold in. So that, and I like to trim it towards the insides. So it doesn't have a lot of excess hanging out. Okay. And then I can press that down again. Now I'm going to measure this. Where did I put my... That's cool. There's actually a place right near my house that opened. It's a new embroidery shop. The one that closed that I got mine from is no longer in business, but this one's a new one. And I stand there and watch them do the whole like machine embroidery with like the fancy equipment. And I just stand there and I stare at it, and the lady's like, boop, 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 and it like does it. And I'm like, whoa, this is cool. So I'm just measuring that out to about 2.5. It's fun to just watch them. Like, you're like, whoa, that is so cool. I know how you feel. Even though I've got some fancy stuff that people think are fancy, I always am like, I want the next thing. I should share with you guys sometime my embroidery, not my embroidery. You guys see my embroidery. I should share with you my crochet stuff. Crochet blankets that I made for family members, and all that kind of stuff. I'm not good at quilting. Oh, wow, that's cool. Yeah. I can't even sew by hand. Like I can sew a button on and it'll probably be like the tightest button you've ever seen. But that's about all I can do. I'm not talented in that area. Okay. Then I'm going to take this. So this little piece here that I just trimmed up and prepared, and I'm going to attach it onto here, and I'm going to sew that on as well. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and sew that on. Oh yeah, the Amish, their furniture is like gorgeous. I wish I could afford their furniture. It's like beautiful. And I'm sure their quilts are just as gorgeous. Okay, now I'm going to sew this on. Another 1/4 of an inch. See, it gets stuck. There we go. Okay. Now I undo it. Okay, now what I did is I sewed it on like this. It's like a little flap. And I'm going to fold this over and sew it to the other side so that it seals it all in. And I might actually trim it just a smidge. Hi, Eve. I'm just going to trim this up just a little bit so that there's a little more wiggle room for me to sew the other side. So I pull it over, make sure it's nice and as neat as I can get it. And then I'm going to sew that on. Okay. Yeah, I take a long time. Now, It isn't perfect. So here's where I sewed it. And they usually call it stitching in the ditch. I can never get it right. So it's slightly above. See? So from this side to this side. But this helps seal the edge so you don't have to see the ugly edge. For the next one. Okay. I gotta make another one. Come on. Gotta make another piece. So a little more than 2.5. Take this. Okay. And then I'm just going to trim these edges like I did on the other one. Come on. Work with me here. Okay. Okay. Now I have the next one ready. There it is. That is a good one. I love it. That would be a good one. Okay, now I'm going to sew this one. Do the same thing I just did for this side as I did for the other side. I like that idea. I have to admit, in a way, I feel kind of bad. I feel like I might have pushed the shirt on Tim and Carrie. I hope I didn't. Guys, I suffer from a lot of anxiety and worry about things. So I always worry that like I overstepped bounds or I pushed something on someone that they didn't want and all that kind of thing. So I hope I didn't. Okay. So now that one's all sewn and I just have to flip it over. and then stitch. Well, hopefully, unless they're just being nice. Okay, now time to stitch this one. Lee, I did get permission from your gift giver if you really wanted to know their name. They were like, well, if they really want to know, I guess. Oh, see, this one did better. This one's stitched in the ditch. See how it kind of goes right underneath it? Okay. All right, guys, that's the finished one. It's the last one that I had to do. Okay, so let me move this sucker out of the way for a sec so you can see the finished bag. What if I had you guess? You had to guess it. I want to flatten that. Well, okay, we're gonna first, I'm gonna use this. Okay. Trying to clean it up. Right, guys, ready? Here we go. We're gonna flip this. Okay, now I'm pushing out the corners. And I can take off that piece of tape. Okay, push out this corner, that corner, these ones. All right, guys. It was not Tim. It was not. Tim just asked for your size. I was like, how am I going to get his size? And they were like, well, you're going to have to be sneaky. And I'm like, well, never mind then. Okay. Just kind of press this down a little. Hey guys, here is the finished bag. Oh, there we go. So that's the finished bag. And then there's the inside. So it's fully lined and there's no, technically there's no exposed seams because I sewed over the exposed seam. So that is that one. So it's all embroidered with their logo. Yeah, it's got I think they actually took one of these to the retreat. So this, and then here's what the box bottom looks like. So if you do, well, I was like, how am I gonna try and like be sneaky and get his size? It's not. I'm gonna be like, hey, what's your shirt size? The measurements, okay. So the boxed bottom is about 2 inches wide. 2 and a bit. About 2 and a quarter. 2 and, oh wait, no, wait. It's actually, this one is like 2 3/4. Oh my God. My eyes were like, no, what is it? So the bottom is about 2 3/4. And then it's about, how tall? It's about, I'd say 6.5 or 5.5 to 6 inches, because it goes to about 6 inches. I can't show you. What am I trying to show you for? And then lengthwise, it's going to suck in a little in the bottom. So the top is about 10 and a quarter inches. So 10 1/4 by 6 by 2 3/4. Yeah. No. It was actually Rich. Rich got you the shirt. So like I said, this is pretty much this bag, sort of, kind of. Yeah, I mean, they're about the same width. It is this bag without the clear pocket. How about the bottom across? Trying to see the bottom across. Oh, okay. That's about, let me go from the right side. That's about 7 3/4, maybe a little less. Just from the seam to the seam, that's about 7 3/4. Yeah. So he reached out to me and he was like, hey, did he get a shirt yet? And I was like, nope. See, I'm one of the people that I would gift everyone a shirt if I could afford it. Can't gift everyone a shirt. I'm one of those people that if I'm at a craft fair and I'm doing a craft fair and somebody comes up and they're like, oh, I love this. Oh, this is whatever, XYZ. Oh, I love this. Would love to have this. I'm probably one of the people that would be like, here, have it. And I would like lose anything. Well, because I asked him, I was like, he's asking, what should I do? because he told me not to tell you when I sent it to you. So I was like, it's from a diamond painting friend. And like I said, so I have that pouch. And I said this at the beginning. I don't have any more of this fabric. I had purchased this fabric to do one of these bags. I was just doing it to see if I could make bags. So I had purchased this fabric and I went back to Joann's and they don't have it anymore. So I have switched it to this fabric. So from this like lined one to this like splotchy fabric. So I have that splotchy fabric. That's the best word I can think of. And like I said, I can do this. I have see-through ones, see-through pouch ones. This one's the smaller, not the smaller size, but yeah, well, he'll know now, but he told me originally when I sent it not to tell you, so I didn't tell you. I was good. And then I have, this is a little bit larger. So this is the largest size I can do on my machine. And so this is the next size down from that. So it's about 1.25 inches maybe wider and about 3/4 of an inch longer or taller, whatever. And then I just have this one too. These ones are cute too. These would be good to have like words across it. So like if you wanted something specific on it. I've thought about trying to figure out something like I only have one and have like a diamond painting pen on it. I know, because I blacked it out. He said he didn't want you to know. So I took a Sharpie marker and blacked it out from the front and blacked it out from the back so you wouldn't see it. See, I can be sneaky too. Okay. And Tracy, if you're looking for the see-through, I have a bunch of different fabrics. I don't have any in here. I don't think. Well, I might have to do that. See, I'm pretty good. I was like, oh, he'll just hold it up to the light. I gotta black it out from both sides. So I'm trying to see what fabrics I have that go together. No, he's probably going to call me terrible. It's your fault. Ah, don't fall. Well, and I was watching your unboxing and you were just like, here's her socials. And you like put it to the side and I'm like, I wrote you a note. Turn it over. Your wife was smart though. She turned it over and she looked. I was like, way to go, Lenore. Woo! I was like, good job, Lenore. Tracy, I don't know how I'm going to show you this. So I'm hoping Sarah will be able to make many of these for us. For us what? Leverage? Yeah, it was the putting the bag on your head. Okay. So this is the one Denise got. She did the red with the cherries. I also have red with like a plaid. I also have, so I have this purple. I have this purple that you could use with this other purple, with this kind of watercolory purple. Or I did pick this up today. So it's like a polka dot, like a purple polka dot that would go with this purple. I always tilt it the wrong way. So I have that one. I do have ones that kind of go together. I have this, I have this one. This one I really like because I don't think you can see it. Oh yeah, you can see it. See how it kind of, the outline is shimmery. Kind of has like a pearly kind of colored outline. So that with the green polka dot or with this yellow pinstriping. I don't have a lot of this left, but this pinstripe yellow is really pretty too. And I'm not a huge yellow fan, but I have a ton of that fabric. I must have thought I was going to do something special with it. I did make Mother's Day shirts. Oh no, I never put this in the Mother's Day shirt. That's what it was meant for. I do have this. These are very thick fabrics. I don't know why they're so dang thick, but I have like this patriotic one that's got like, this is little tiny stars and this one's big stars and stuff. Made of neoprene. I don't know if my machine could handle that thick, because neoprene's got a good thickness to it, and you're folding it over, so it's going to be like 2 to 3 layers thick just with one, and then when you go to stitch it, it's even thicker. They do have a fabric that's called PU, pull. Yeah, pull. And it's like a it's like a waterproof kind of fabric that they use in diapers and things like reusable diapers and things. I'm not even sure where to get that. That's a little more expensive kinds of fabric too. And then I have the lemons with like a yellow plaid color. Or you could do it with just yellow. I have like a yellow. I think I have a yellow somewhere. I don't know. Then I have this one. And then I have this. No, it's not a leather. It's almost like kind of like a waxy finish to it. So it's like wipeable. I don't know how else to explain. I've never actually used it, but I know someone who does. She uses it in her like nursing pads and stuff like that. The lemon matched the green. Oh, this green? No. This is more of a minty green, if you can tell. See how this is more of like a mint, and then this is more of a like a dark green. I don't know if I do have a navy, but the navy's kind of different than that navy. Yeah, that's not the same navy, I would say. But the navies are different. This one's like a, yeah, I mean, you could maybe make it work. But this is mostly for my other part of my business. And then I have like random fabrics that I wish somebody could tell me why did I have to buy this much of a bunny fabric? It makes no sense. It's like teeny tiny little like silhouettes of bunnies. I originally bought all this fabric for bowl, like heat safe bowls. I originally purchased some of this for that, and I don't make them. And then I also do wrist like key fobs. Let me see if I can find it. I have a lot of my stuff like put away in my you guys see, this is my, you see it? This is my craft fair tote. So I started doing craft fairs in December of last year. And this is my craft fair tote. So I keep pretty much everything that I make and have for craft fairs in here. So I'll go over a little bit of what I've got in here. You guys are probably like, I don't care. But so my last craft fair I did on Mother's Day. Who's saying bye? Oh, bye, cat. The first one I did was on Mother's Day. Or no. So the first craft fair I did was during Christmas. Then I did one before Mother's Day. So it was like April something, and I was so sick. Do not recommend. So I had made a bunch of mama shirts that I think I sold one. So this one's all embroidered. Mama shirt. So I had these shirts, and I also had these shirts. Like a tone-on-tone mama shirt. So floral and that one. So I did a bunch of those. I've also done some sewing, not a lot of sewing, without the window and no embellishment on it. So I also have these. I haven't made a bunch of these. They're like little these I call my security squares. So they're like little things that little babies can take with them instead of a giant blanket. So I have a bunch of those, like different different ones. This one. And then this one's my favorite one. It's bigger than those squares. And it's the softest minky. It's a minky fabric, which means it's like super, super soft. Both sides is minky. So I have these like little mini ones. I mean, these ones don't look mini, but they're mini compared to a giant blanket. Here's one of the crochet items. So this is a little preemie dress that I've crocheted. I crocheted a dress like this for my daughter when she was born. And that's how we announced that we had a girl, or we were having a girl. So I have the crochet dress with the little button in the back to close it up. Okay. And now I have some amigurumi. These are amigurumi. So the butterflies. Butterfly. And my mermaids, my mini mermaids. I have a few of those, like these little guys. Little mermaids. I have quite a few of those. I also have turtles. Little turtles. Little turtle. So I've got turtles, mermaids. Oh, I also have my floppy dogs. These are like little floppy dogs. They're just like floppy on the inside and they're knotted. So there's no stuffing in here, just in their heads. I like the little dogs. They're cute. Oh, and I also have seahorses. So I have these seahorses and mermaids. It's kind of a whole ocean thing going on. Oh, and you like the turtles? I also have mini turtles. I have my fuzzy turtles. So these are little fuzzy turtles. Those are my fuzzy turtles. They're super soft. They were a super pain in the butt to make because they're so slippery. They're super slippery. So like when you're crocheting, it like flies out of your hand and you're like, ah! Oh. Here's some velvet turtles. Little velvet turtles. They're really tiny. So they're like the little babies of it. And I have one octopus left. One little octopus with all his little tentacles. You plop them down. And then in here is pretty much just like coasters, like hexagon coasters. I also make like dish scrubbers. So these are really rough. So it's dish scrubbies. Dish scrubbies. I also have some of these. They're like mug cozies. So you wrap it around your mug to keep your hand from getting burnt. I also have cold cup cozies, which are these. These are meant for like the Starbucks venties. So you slip this. This is made of cotton. So you slide this over over your drink, your cold drink, and it absorbs all that condensation. These work really, really well. And the rest of this stuff is like gift card holders. So here's like a gift card holder. You'd slide your gift card in here and hang it on the tree. Have the snowman. And I have a boy and girl version of reindeer. You slip your gift card in. And I think I've mentioned these before. These are like treat bag holders. So you can put like money, gift cards, treats, whatever inside of these. I have stockings. I have gingerbread men. I try to get everything for holidays. So I have Santa. And I have ghosts. And I have pumpkins. And bunny rabbit. And I have a boy and girl version of the lambs. So that's the boy. I've had people also get these for like baby showers and things, depending on what they're having, a boy or a girl, and then they get the corresponding lamb. And then this one is for Valentine's Day with the heart on the bear. You hate talent. Sorry. Guess gives Lee another reason not to like me. So that's that one bin. Oh, I think my kids lost it. I don't know where it is. Here was the first turtle I made. This is the first turtle I made. It's not very full of stuffing. I was afraid to stuff it too full. But it's a mommy turtle, and there's where its babies come out. So it's got an egg with its little teeny tiny babies. One baby, two baby. So you take the egg and you just put it back in the mommy's belly. And then that was one of the first ones I made. Okay, I can put that away. Come on, close. You can do it. Dang it. Let's go. There we go. Oh, I forgot I had more of these. Yeah, right. I also my next row, I have these are scrunchies, like they're hair scrunchies. So it's got a hair tie inside of it, and I just I crocheted this faux fur around the outside of it. I also have these like mini octopus. These are my little mini octopus. And little These are little whales. And then some frogs. I also have crochet velvet wristlets. Those are usually at my craft fair. And then this is what I was talking about earlier. So I can make these kind of wristlets out of my fabrics. So I make these too. So you just put them on so that you have your hands free, but you still have your keys available. Have that. So I have a bunch of those. I also do, these are called helping hands. I only made a few of these, but you would stick your playing cards into it. I originally made these for my kids because they can't hold all the cards at the same time. So this allows them to tuck their playing cards in it and hold on to it and not have to like hold on to the whole set. It's also good if someone has arthritis or anything like that. It helps to hold it for you. So I have those. I also have like hair clips. These are embroidered hair clips. And you just snap them on. So I have like watermelons and oranges and lemons, and I also have sunflowers. And where'd the other one? Oh, ladybugs. I have all that kind of stuff. And I can close that one up. Make sure I don't pinch anything. Why does it not want to shut? There we go. I also have a bunch of crochet stuff. So I have little baby bear hats. These are newborn hats or preemie hats. And I have a bunch of those. I have gray, cream, pink, sage, brown, different things like that. Oh, here's a bumblebee. I also have bees. And then my other ones are my velvet beanies. So I have a bunch of different colors for the velvet beanies. I have like the gray, the green, I have pink, I have a really pretty dusty blue. Here's the dusty blue one. These are all my like little baby beanies. But this is my giant tote of craft fair items that I take with me every time I go to a craft fair. Just thought I would share so you guys don't think that like that's all I do. I do a lot of different things. Let me sort this back out. Oh, my battery's getting low. I'm probably gonna have to end it soon. Oh no. Because I gotta do bath time with the kiddos pretty soon. Just gotta put things back where they were so I don't forget them. Where'd that other box go? Oh, here. I try to keep it as organized as I can because when I go to a craft fair, I'm just like throwing things on the table. Okay, that's done. And it doesn't even fit in the case. Okay. Flip this around. So I think I'm gonna have to call it quits because my kids will be here any minute. Then I gotta give them a bath, get them fed, all the things. But if you're ever interested in anything, you can always reach out to me. You can reach out to me on my Etsy shop, but they'll even ding you if you don't talk to the person within a certain amount of time, which I'm usually pretty good at getting back to you. But you can email me at sarahannCreations sarahannCreations@hotmail.com. Yeah. I feel like I'm always doing the adulting thing. But if you're ever interested in anything that I make, even if you've seen it on a live, but I don't have it on my Etsy, you can always reach out to me and just ask. Totally fine. Okay, sounds good. But if you guys have any other questions, just let me know. You can always email me or you can message me in Discord too. That's totally fine. Okay. You can always message me in Discord too. So you can reach me in many different ways. But I am going to sign off for today. Thank you so very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed watching me make a bag. And I will talk to you all later. Bye, guys.